The bank alert blinked across my phone while I reviewed my medical school application for the 100th time. My coffee mug rattled against the granite countertop as I read the words. Unauthorized withdrawal attempt, $400,000. Blood roared in my ears. The quiet kitchen pressed in around me. Morning sunlight stabbed against the countertops. Grandpa's portrait loomed above the antique sideboard, his stern eyes a reminder of every sacrifice he'd made for my future. My hands trembled as I dialed Angela. 1 ring, 2 rings. Each pause stretched like taffy. Meredith. My financial attorney's voice carried the careful neutrality I dreaded. I was about to call you. Angela, what's happening? A pause. Someone forged Travis's signature. Tried to transfer nearly 2/3 of the trust. The words struck like a punch. I clutched the counter, knees threatening to buckle. How? I'm sending you a recording. Caller claimed to be you, authorizing an emergency withdrawal. My phone buzzed. I switched to speaker. A familiar voice filled the kitchen, honeyed and practiced. Yes, this is Meredith Ellis. I discussed this with Travis. We agreed it's the best use of the education fund. Brittany, my brother's new wife. The memory rose unbidden. Mom's memorial, her black designer dress, hair curled, red-soled shoes clicking. She'd cornered me at the reception, gesturing toward my simple apartment. All that education money just sitting there, she'd said. Her smile never reached her eyes. Such a shame. I pressed my palm to the cool counter, fighting nausea. 8 years. 8 years since I'd stood in a different kitchen, wearing my white medical coat, listening to the call that changed everything. Mom's tests came back. Stage 4, Sarah had whispered, voice cracking. I'd looked down at the coat, the dream I carried since childhood, then folded it carefully, placed it in a box, and stepped into a new life: night shifts, second jobs, helping Sarah finish high school while Mom faded. Grandpa had been our rock. The day he set up the education trust burned in my memory. This money is for your return to medicine, he'd said, weathered hand gripping mine. Nothing else. Travis will help protect it as co-trustee. Some see money as opportunity. Others see it as something to take. I understood the weight of those words now. The signs had been there. Brittany scrutinizing my apartment like an appraiser. The family dinner 2 weeks ago, suggesting pooling family resources. Travis silent, head down, while she leaned forward. At your age, wouldn't it be better to help family? I met her gaze. Grandpa believed in finishing what we start. My phone buzzed. Angela's text arrived, attachments included. Brittany's credit report, a trail of destruction across 3 states. $178,000 in hidden debt. Luxury purchases. Payday loans. Casino withdrawals. The last image stopped my breath. A 5-year-old mugshot. Darker hair, the same calculating eyes. Amanda Wells wanted for fraud in Texas. Travis doesn't know who he married. The words barely whispered out. My brother, who shared sandwiches with me in elementary school, who taught me to ride a bike, pulled me from my first heartbreak. Now a pawn in Brittany's scheme. I opened my medical school application, the personal essay on perseverance, honoring sacrifices and promises. Grandpa's eyes caught the sunlight, steady and wise. The trust wasn't just money, it was his final gift, a chance to resurrect my abandoned dream. Now, what would protecting it cost? Was I ready? Angela's email arrived at 3 p.m. I'd spent the morning searching accounts and statements. Laptop glow illuminated drafts in Travis's shared family account, messages about emergency access to my unused funds. My stomach clenched scrolling through Brittany's meticulous research into trust conditions. Documents cataloged like a predator studying prey, history stretching back 14 months. Long before she met Travis at the gala, Before complimenting his father's Rolex, my phone buzzed again. Sarah, Brittany came by. Wanted me to sign papers, said it was for your own good. The room tilted. What papers? Temporary power of attorney. She said you were burnt out. Her voice hardened. I told her I'd talk to you first. She didn't like that. I closed my eyes. Brittany at Mom's memorial, not sympathy, calculation. You did the right thing. Don't sign anything. Mister, what's happening? She asked. I'll explain soon. Just be careful around her. Already I am. She's like the advisor who tried to change Mom's will during chemo. Throat tight. I stared at the bank alert. The transfer signature wasn't Travis's careful hand it, matched Brittany's flowing wedding card script. Resolute, I decided to confront them in person. The drive to Travis's house felt endless. Every landmark pressed against my chest. Elementary school, park where he taught me to ride a bike. He opened the door in a rumpled sweatshirt. Meredith, what? I held up the alert. We need to talk. His face shuddered. There must be a mistake, he said after hearing about Brittany. The only mistake was thinking she married you for love. Heels on hardwood. Brittany in the foyer, designer purse dangling, eyes narrowing, tears welling. I was trying to help our family. You weren't even using it. We have real needs. Bitter words like casino withdrawals and maxed out credit cards hidden from Travis. Travis stepped between us. Calm down. Maybe we can share some of the fund. Brittany pressed closer, manicured hand on his arm. Family helps family. Don't be selfish, Meredith. I pulled up Angela's photo on my phone. He squinted. Mugshot dark hair, same calculating eyes. Amanda Wells. We found an investment opportunity, he said weakly. Weekly updates. The only thing she invested in was men with family money. Credit reports showed destruction across 3 states. She's not the first. Just the latest. Brittany's tears vanished. Ungrateful little. She forced concern back into her features. Travis, she's trying to come between us. Like last girlfriend. I turned to Travis. Ask her about the email she sent Karen pretending to be you, the one ending your relationship right before you were going to propose. Travis's head snapped toward Brittany. What? She stammered, stepping back, clutching her purse. I don't have to listen to these lies. I'm late for yoga. The front door slammed behind her. Travis sank onto the stairs, head in his hands. The trust fund. She said you agreed to help us start a business. The only business she's starting is in Mexico, I said, showing him the one-way ticket Angela had found. His shoulders shook. I sat beside him like we used to during thunderstorms when we were kids. The familiar scent of his sweatshirt detergent and coffee made my eyes water. I've got a meeting with the bank officers tonight, I said softly. We're removing you as co-trustee. He nodded without looking up. You should have I didn't protect you like I promised Grandpa I would. You're not the first person she's fooled. I touched his arm. But you can help make sure you're the last. After leaving, I met with bank officials. Plans were in place. That night, I sat surrounded by legal documents instead of medical textbooks. My interview acceptance letter lay unopened on the coffee table. The trust fund was secure, but at what cost? A text from an unknown number lit up my phone. Amanda Wells ruined my brother's life too. Call me. I glanced at Grandpa's portrait. His chest words echoed. The game isn't in the first move. It's in the quiet moments between moves. Another text from Travis. Found something in B's desk drawer. Passport photos, different names. I ran my thumb over Grandpa's worn watch. The second hand ticked steadily through crises, through Mom's illness, through nights of study, through all the yearning to return to medicine. Some dreams wait. Others must be defended. My phone rang. Angela, Meredith. She's been photographing your financial documents. Flight reservations to Mexico City, 2 tickets. I looked at the papers, my medical school materials, Grandpa's portrait. Protecting what matters means making hard choices. I straightened my spine. I was ready. 2 days later, Aunt Helen's family room smelled of poppy seed and pot roast. We'd been invited despite everything. Brittany perched on the edge of the floral sofa, dabbing at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "We're just so worried about Meredith," she said. "Ever since Mom passed." I gripped my water glass tighter, ice clinking. Around me, rehearsed concern everywhere. Cousin Rachel nodded. Uncle Steve muttered about caretaker burnout. Mrs. Peterson from next door watched, witness to my apparent breakdown. Travis sat in Dad's old armchair, shoulders hunched, eyes down. "The way she clings to that trust fund," Brittany droned, honeyed false sympathy. "It's not healthy. We only want to help her move forward." The room felt smaller with each word. Family photos stared from the walls. I touched Grandpa's watch, its steady tick grounding me. Sunlight caught its worn face, the same light that illuminated his study during chess lessons. "The quiet player sees 3 moves ahead," he had said, moving his bishop. "Let your opponent reveal their strategy, then counter when they least expect it." Fingers on the acceptance letter in my purse, crisp and sharp. Brittany's voice continued, weaving her cards across the table. Travis cleared his throat. "Perhaps the education money could help everyone. Times are different now." I pulled the envelope from my purse, the medical school seal catching light, and placed it on Aunt Helen's coffee table. Silence fell. "I start classes in September," I said clearly. Admissions had loved my essay on returning to medicine after caregiving. Brittany's smile flickered, a crack in the mask. "But at your age, is this practical? That money could—" My voice rang with quiet certainty. Grandpa didn't leave me money. He left me a future. Travis's head snapped up, rage flaring beneath Brittany's composed exterior. The front door chimed. Sarah entered, manila envelope in hand. "Sorry I'm late. Brought copies of Meredith's essays. The one about Mom made me cry." Aunt Helen rose slowly, arthritis forgotten. "Meredith was born to heal, just like him," she whispered. My phone buzzed. "Angela. 3 more victims willing to testify about Amanda Wells, meeting tomorrow." Travis's voice lost uncertainty. "Where did you say she went to college?" The grandfather clock chimed twice. Brittany's smile grew brittle. "I should check dinner the roast." Aunt Helen raised an eyebrow. "I didn't start it yet, dear." I retrieved a thin folder of bank statements. "Travis, you need to see this." Hands trembling, he read, "Hotel reservations, plane tickets." "Mexico, in your maiden name?" Brittany stood, designer heels sinking into carpet. "You always thought you were better than everyone." The mask slipped, revealing cold calculation. Little Miss Perfect with a trust fund and dreams. "She's not better than everyone," Travis said, shoulders straight. "But she's better than this." My phone buzzed. Conference call reminder with fraud victims from Dallas, Phoenix, and Seattle. Evidence mounting by the hour. "I need air," I whispered, grabbing keys, driving to Mom's grave. 20 minutes later, I note fresh daisies against marble. Raindrops and petals hit my tears. I'm going back to medicine. But first, protect Grandpa's gift. Fingers traced her engraved name. I won't let her sacrifices be stolen. Rain poured harder, soaking my blazer. Something had shifted. 8 years of sacrifice had built strength. Phone rang. "Travis." Panic. "She's emptying our accounts, multiple withdrawals." Alerts flooded my screen. Security footage. Brittany entering First Nationals downtown, manila envelope in hand. A smile tugged my lips. Grandpa's chess lessons echoed. The quiet player sees 3 moves ahead. We've been waiting for this. Rain washed Mom's gravestone. Doubt washed away. Protecting a dream sometimes means hard choices. Justice sometimes wears a white coat. Stern clouds parted, sunlight shafted down. Time to move. 2 days later, I picked up Travis. We headed to Angela, her conference table lined with 8 officers. Detective's card face up, edges worn. Travis's wire glowed under his collar. "You don't have to do this," I said. Shadows under his eyes mirrored mine. He adjusted the blue tie Brittany had gifted. "Yes, I do." Angela clicked heels on hardwood. Bank security confirmed Brittany's move. My phone buzzed, attempted withdrawal from Travis's retirement account life savings. I placed the phone beside the detective's card, waiting. "She's at First National," Angela said calmly. "Called someone named Mark to accelerate timeline. Police tracking the number." Travis's fists curled. Mark, the charming friend who introduced him to Brittany. Pieces clicked, a patient hunter selecting prey. Travis's voice caught. "I should have seen it. You weren't supposed to see it." That was the point. The next hour stretched, alert after alert, as Brittany tried to drain every accessible account. Each rejection drove her closer to panic, to mistakes. Grandpa's chess lessons came alive. Sometimes victory is waiting for the opponent to realize they've already lost. Travis's phone lit up. Brittany's wedding photo. Honeyed tears in her voice. "Baby, your sister is trying to destroy our marriage. She's always been jealous of our happiness." Travis's jaw tightened. 8 years watching Mom fade had taught me about pain. This one lived in the way he held himself still. "Come home," he said. "We need to talk." Line went dead. Angela nodded. "Time to close the trap dot at First National," Brittany's smile faltered. Fraud investigator placed her documents on the counter. Mrs. Chen, family friend since Mom's illness, arms crossed. "These signatures don't match records, Mrs. Ellis, and this power of attorney appears falsified." "Confusion?" Brittany laughed brittly. "My husband and sister authorized. Denver, Houston accounts under Amanda Wells." "Did they authorize?" Security camera caught her mask cracking, fingers drumming marble counter, the same tell from Mom's memorial. Travis discovered the second phone in their closet, messages mapping a careful campaign. Search history showed research on trust law, inheritance, power of attorney. False passport, Amanda Wells. Travis' hand shook. "I was never your husband," he whispered. "I was just your access." Later, Brittany's key turned in the lock. Travis and I sat at the kitchen table where she'd suggested pooling resources while reviewing my med school essays. She froze in the doorway, purse dangling. Confident mask back in place. "What's going on?" Her voice perfect confusion. Travis pressed play. Her own voice filled the room. "Your pathetic sister wasted her chance at that money." I wasn't about to let it sit there. The purse hit the floor. Brittany's eyes darted between us, a cornered animal seeking escape. She stepped toward Travis, hands outstretched. "Baby, let me explain." "Explain what?" His voice carried the weight of 8 years watching me work double shifts, of nights spent studying after caring for Mom. My sister had sacrificed her dream to care for her mother. "What have you ever sacrificed?" Her mask shattered completely. Brittany's beauty twisted into something ugly, something real. Stupid enough to give up a fortune for a foolish promise. IWS and single quotes T. Police radios crackled in the hallway. Detective Wilson entered, Angela beside him with a thick folder of evidence. "Amanda Wells," the detective said. "Or Patricia Turner, if you prefer. We have witnesses from Houston ready to discuss your previous investment opportunities." She was arrested on the spot. Aunt Carol called that evening, voice thick with tears. Uncle James left a rambling voicemail, apologizing for being too quick to judge. I went home, leaving Travis behind, broken but safe, after the chaos. Sarah arrived with Mom's lasagna recipe and a bottle of wine. Neighbors waved from their porches, understanding in their quiet way. I'd learned during Mom's illness that community shows itself in small, quiet moments. 2 weeks later, Travis moved into a small apartment 3 blocks away. I helped him pack, carefully wrapping the chest Grandpa had given him for his 10th birthday. The pieces felt heavy with memory. One Wednesday, Angela called. "The DA is offering a deal," she said over speakerphone. "Evidence makes defense nearly impossible, especially with the other victims coming forward." "Take it," I said. Travis looked sharply up. "This isn't about money anymore," he said. But the final blow came from Detective Wilson. Patterns emerged across state lines, careful research into families with trusts, accomplices opening doors, a brother-like friend named Mark appearing in photos. Always beside unsuspecting prey, I stood at my window, watching the sunrise paint the city in shades of promise. "Mom's final words," I told Travis, surrounded by moving boxes. "Finish what you started. She needs to be stopped. Not just from taking my future, but everyone else's too." 8 years ago, I'd set aside my white coat to honor one promise. Now it was time to keep another. A week later, an unexpected and unwelcome visitor arrived at my workplace. Brittany's perfume filled the small conference room suite, cloying. Drop the charges and I disappear forever. Simple as that. I studied her manicured nails drumming the polished table, remembering the same fingers that had forged Travis's signature. The morning sun caught her diamond ring, the one that nearly emptied Travis's savings. $200,000, she leaned forward, voice honeyed. "Call it reasonable compensation for my inconvenience." My grandfather's watch ticked steadily against my wrist. 1 breath. 2 breaths. Silence stretched like piano wire. "You know what happens if you fight me?" Her mask slipped, revealing something sharp. Every Christmas, every birthday, every family gathering had led to this moment. The sister who sent Travis's wife to prison, is that the legacy you want? Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. 8 years of night shifts had taught me patience. 8 years of watching Mom fade had taught me about real legacy. "You're right about one thing," I said. "This is about legacy, just not the one you think." Our first courtroom confrontation followed a week later. After almost a month of preparation, it had begun. The courtroom doors felt heavy that afternoon. Travis sat in the front row, shoulders curved inward, while Brittany's attorney painted him as the mastermind. I was a strategic victim, unstable, obsessed with money I hadn't earned. Her lawyer gestured to the jury. The Ellis Trust was for education, yet Miss Ellis hoarded it for 8 years while her family struggled. This case isn't about theft, it's about a sister's refusal to help her brother in need. My acceptance letter burned in my bag. Its future uncertain. Dean's office had already called twice. Angela rose, movements precise. The timeline she'd assembled covered 3 boards, documenting every step of Brittany's plan. The jury leaned forward as audio played Brittany shifting identities like radio stations, perfectly tuned to her target's vulnerabilities. When my turn came, I touched Grandpa's watch for strength. Mom had died believing I would return to medicine. My voice carried to the back row where Sarah and her aunt sat. She'd spent her final months apologizing for needing my help, but love doesn't keep score. Brittany, the word tasted bitter, had tried to steal not just money, but my mother's vision of my future. Evidence mounted like an incoming tide. 5 victims testified, their stories echoing mine. Bank records traced Brittany across 7 years and 3 identities. Travis's testimony cut deepest, love letters revealed as reconnaissance, gifts purchased with other victims' savings. His voice cracked once. I thought I was protecting my sister's future. Instead, I nearly helped destroy it. The judge's gavel cut through the murmurs as Brittany's former accomplice took the stand. Text messages, a notebook recovered from storage, planning before Travis even met her. Families marked for targeting, dreams converted to cash. The judge's words rang with quiet fury, grief, illness, loss, all exploited. 6 years. No early release. Full restitution to victims. Brittany's composure finally shattered. Handcuffs glinting, she spat. You think you've won? This was your one shot at playing doctor, and you wasted it on revenge. 8 years of night shifts. 8 years watching dreams gather dust. 8 years of mom's apologies and grandpa's faith. This was never a game. My words, I said softly for her ears alone, were never for revenge. Travis stood beside me as she disappeared through the courtroom doors. His hands shook as he pulled out a small velvet box. The diamond caught the afternoon light, scattering rainbows across his palm. Sell it, I said. Turn it into something real. The steps outside felt warmer than they should for April. Travis's apology hung between us, heavy as the ring in my pocket. A chess piece clicked somewhere nearby. 2 old men played at a park table, just like Grandpa used to. The medical school letter waited on my kitchen table that evening, still sealed. Travis touched its edge. After everything, can you still forgive me? Grandpa's chess queen sat by the window, watching over her domain. 8 years of waiting. 8 years of faith. I traced the envelope, feeling the weight of choices. The hardest person to give is always yourself. The seal broke cleanly. Evening light painted the kitchen gold. We healed in our own ways, focusing on freedom and growth. After all ups and downs, it was time to step into medicine again. One Monday morning, the white coat settled across my shoulders. The hallway smelled of antiseptic, impossible yet familiar. Everything else had shifted, transformed by the years in between. Ellis, Professor Martinez called, recognition lighting her face. You're finally back where you belong. I touched my lapel, embroidered name matching Grandpa's portrait. The smile that rose was steadier now, earned through more than academic achievement. Scholarship committee meetings ran all day and late into the evening. My hands moved across the final paperwork, establishing a fund for medical students who've served as caregivers. Recovered money from Brittany's theft attempts found purpose. The plaque would read, for those who pause their dreams to care for others. Travis leaned against the conference room doorframe. Simple button down now, shoulders lighter. First award ceremony already on the calendar. You didn't have to stay, I said. Yes, I did. His voice carried the weight of understanding we built in therapy, layers of guilt peeled back, trust rebuilt. Dinners reinstated less performance, more truth at home, my apartment filled with afternoon light. Sarah unpacked Mom's old stethoscope. Brass gleamed. Found it in the attic. Thought you might want it back. Angela arrived with wine, her usual direct smile. Our monthly dinners had evolved beyond legal consultations, real friendship. Travis cooked, the scent of Grandpa's pot roast drifting from the kitchen. Carrots need 5 more minutes, Travis called out, more himself than in months. A knock at my office. Jenny Martinez, first-year student, red-rimmed eyes. Her father's cancer diagnosis arrived yesterday. The weight of her coat too heavy. I don't know if I can do both, she whispered. I gestured to the chair across. Sometimes the longest route builds the strongest doctor. That weekend, Travis and I approached Grandpa's headstone. October sun warmed the granite. Travis placed the queen beside fresh flowers. You are the strongest piece on the board, he said. Therapy had taught him to stand alone again. I traced the dates carved in stone. Strength isn't about power, it's knowing when to move and when to wait. Monday came, unexpectedly tiring. The financial literacy workshop ran long. Students leaned forward as I explained trust protections, compound interest, and the importance of written agreements. My warnings landed differently now. In the back, a law professor took notes my case study would appear on her syllabus next semester. Later that night, surrounded by medical texts, the library quiet, the clock read 21:17.